most. I definitely want to be able to reach, a lot of people, and be relevant and them and just be relatable, and so that's really more important to me.
Okay.
You know.
Are you touring up? Do you got any plans for tours?
Well, I have something going on, man. I'm trying to get on the leg of a tour with one of my homies, man. He's a Christian rapper named Richard Cutright, and they go by Richard Cutright and IKill. They just released their album Chicken and Dumplings. Trying to get on a tour with them, man. Get on a tour, a leg of that with them. Trying to set up the different venues that I could really get my music out to right now. So
that's a major look. That's definitely a major look. Do you have a single floating around?
No single.
No single. So you're going to drop just out the blue cold?
I'm going to just drop it cold, man. I really wanted to do it different. Like, I mean, a lot of people say to drop a single to give anticipation for, I guess the album or whatever. But with this, I just wanted to do it my way.
Right.
And I want to release it, and I want to just hear the people's feedback.
Right.
Because that's what I made it for. I made it for the people.
Okay.
So if I get their feedback, and whichever one they choose, that's the one we're going to rock with.
Okay.
Because me personally, bro, I feel like there's really no, everybody want to act like they know the answer to how to get, have a bigger platform or get in the industry. But I don't really think it's an answer. I really don't think it's a way. It's just whichever way happens first.
This is true. And mind you, those people typically are not in that big, in that arena, right. To know. So they can't say, hey, well, this is what worked for me.
Right.
They can only tell you what they think.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, I'm, a huge fan of, like, whatever way is going to get you to actually do what you're talking about,
mm-hmm.
then do it that way.
Yeah.
Because, like, when people, and I understand people, they it comes from a place of love and support.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, this it's my name.
Right.
So I have to be comfortable with it.
Right.
Or else I'm going to feel like I did what you wanted me to do.
Exactly.
Instead of what I wanted to
do.
And it wouldn't matter if it was a hit then, right. Because I don't.
Right.
I didn't do what I wanted to do. People just operate on different, vibrations, on different mind states.
Yeah.
And it just a lot of times it can clash like that. So,
yeah.
would you say that you keep like it's a very tight crew, or is it like a sprawling entourage?
Not an entourage, man. No. I got a close clique of people, man, that I pretty much deal with. Discuss my ideas with. Yeah, no entourage over here, man. Not at all.
How do you feel about somebody supplying somebody bars or hooks?
That's a good one, man. 'Cause me personally, I don't believe in that. I feel like this is what you want to do. You should be able to write and put your artistry into it. But on a business aspect, if you're on that platform, man, and you got people that's willing to write for you and give you a hit, let them go ahead and do their thing, on a business aspect. You know what I mean? This is on a business aspect.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, business.
But just to be like, yo, my homie wrote something for me, whatever. Now I think you should really write and do everything yourself, so you can find yourself, man. My opinion.
I like that opinion, but when I see movies like, say for instance, Straight Outta Compton,
mm-hmm.
and I seen like Ice Cube in the room,
yeah,
writing for most of the people in the room,
right.
I'm a strong believer that you should be writing your own raps,
mm-hmm.
but when I saw that, I wasn't that offended that he was doing that.
Right.
So I guess it just depends on the context, because none of those people went out there and said that they were like maybe the best, at anything that they did. They just, made the music they made and, put on whatever. So I guess it just depends on, the context in which it's done. Like, if you're on a specific platform, then, praising you because of your ability to craft
mm-hmm.
songs,
right.
Maybe you shouldn't take that credit if you didn't really craft the song,
Right.
But what's your plan after this album comes out?
After this EP drops, man, it's really just, I'm in a process, or I'm, starting a campaign for it now, but just getting that single, and just getting out there, man, and just trying to reach as many people as I can. As far as music-wise, I'm gonna be still working on that studio album with them collabs, and like it's gonna be outrageous, I'm really gonna go all in with it. Right now, I'm just wanna, like I said, I just wanna kind of, spoon feed people and let them really get to know me. That's pretty much it, man.
Hey, did you check out that Barry reunion?
Didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't go. Yeah.
I didn't go, man. I couldn't make it, but I probably wasn't gonna go if I could have made it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm guessing you didn't.
No, I didn't. I didn't even go out. It had some hype at first, but then I just was like, you know what? I don't know if this is really something
right.
I want to,
right.
be a part of, because it just seemed like a lot of people they stay focused on the past, and past glory, past
right.
situations, past opportunities, and I'm like, but there's so much ahead, there's so much left. Like,
right.
I'm focused on what's in front of me. So I don't think I've ran into anybody yet who had an opportunity to go out there, but I was curious about how it was.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I heard they had a good time, man. One of the deal breakers for me was you got to dress up to go to one of them events, man. I'm like, man, I'm not finna.
What you mean?
Throwing no tux and not to see people I went to high school with.
It's about that, that ambiance. You know what I'm saying? The people you went to high school with are trying to create a certain ambiance.
Hey, well, they can have that. They can have that. I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody. I just wanted to go as I, was. But it is what it is.
So you feel comfortable in the suit?
I'm comfortable in the suit. I'm comfortable in all of that. Just not to go to see nobody I went to school with.
I don't know. I don't blame you. We all got our reasons. I don't blame you, not one bit. I just, I live a drama-free lifestyle. I try to. I'm not on. I'm actually on the opposite transition of you. The majority of my life in the church.
Okay.
And it wasn't until not too long ago, I kind of transitioned out of that.
Gotcha.
For particular things that happen in my life,
okay.
But I'm on a perpetual quest, to find my answers and find my truth. So that's pretty much where I am now. I don't knock anybody's, Once while I was transitioning, that's kind of what I was doing. I would knock this person for maybe what they believe or didn't believe, but that's kind of what I was doing already. If you didn't believe how
right.
I felt, then right. I was knocking you. So.
Right.
It's what came natural, but now I'm like, hey, listen, I think that just like how I just don't think that people have as many answers as they let on. So you got to find your way,
right? And
you got to find your truth and your answers. And so I let people be free to make their own decisions.
Right.
As long as I'm free to make my own decisions,
right.
then we're hunky dory.
Right.
Say for instance, like with the not only the religion, but like with the election, it was like people just really like, severing ties with people they might have known, 5 years, 10 years. Like I never seen so many people get so upset.
Right.
Like hot. Like I'm just like, cats is walking away from the computer like, yo, I'm gonna fuck this nigga up on sight, son. Like when I see him, dead ass to the face. But did you vote?
Didn't vote.
You didn't vote?
Didn't vote. I didn't vote because, like I said, I'm not gonna get all in depth into it, but I know the truth behind the whole everything. I'm very aware, enlightened in that aspect. So I didn't vote, and I got criticized for that. I did.
What type of what kind of criticism?
Oh, I can't believe, I would have thought you would have voted. You doing Christian rap, I would have thought you would have voted. I thought you would have been the first in line.
What does one have to do with the other?
I don't know. That's just that's just what I got.
Wow.
That's just what I got, man.
I didn't vote either. And I was also criticized for not voting, which I couldn't understand, like, because I didn't vote. First of all, I don't have a dog in this fight, and I don't really care.
Right.
So, why am I being criticized when I'm the one who cares? I don't care at all. Like, who's the president between these two? Like, nothing, like, is going to change for me.
Right.
I still got to get up, go to work. I still got to put, food on the table, money in the bank. I still got all the same responsibilities. Like, nothing changed for me just because, Hillary won or didn't win, or Donald won or didn't win. But Did you see like any of that? How active are you on social media? Do you see like are you part of the conversation, or do you like more like sit back and just observe people?
Oh, I observe, man. I don't get in the mix of all that, because they really be going hard.
They go hard.
They go in, man. I mean, like you said, people that walked away from friendships and that, man. I saw it.
Right.
Like I literally saw what they was posting.
Right.
Like, bro, don't hit my phone. Like, I'm about to unfriend you right now. You know what I mean? I literally saw that. It was wild, man. It was crazy.
That is so crazy, man. And I mean, it just goes to show, like, how strong people beliefs be, how indoctrinated they can be to believe, whatever they believe, to where it's just like, if you're not rocking with me,
right,
exactly,
right,
then it's beef.
Right.
And I'm just more of all like, can't we just, why can't we just get along? Like, if you don't like this person, why can't we just go on opposite sides of the room? Like, let's chill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is peace and love. It's copacetic, and, it's real chill, man. So, what are you excited most about people hearing from this, the EP?
Honestly, just the whole thing, man. I'm excited about the reaction I'm going to get from the people who listen to it. Just, I just imagine being somewhere and just a random person just come up to me and say, yo, I listened to your joint, man. Like, it was dope, man. It really helped me, within the situation I was dealing with. To me, that's what I make my music for. Not for any sales, not for any publicity, none of that. That's the biggest thing for me.
Is it very personal? Like, I mean, are you detailing like, situations that in the circumstances that actually occur, take place in your life?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I got about 2 or 3 joints on there, man. I'm just, I'm not going into depth with it, but I am touching on things that I've been through, and like really been through, like even when I was, out there really doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Right.
I did that not to about it or make it seem like I'm some type of gangster or anything like that, but I did that because it's some guys that's really, it's some guys that's really out here living like that, and they don't brag about it, but then you got the ones who really ain't living like that, really bragging about it.
Really bragging about it.
Yeah, but I know guys that's really, but they doing that to survive.
Right.
It's not to go buy Jordans on Saturday. So that's why I touched on that in a lot of my tracks, man, just so it could, like I said, to be relatable.
Okay. Wow.
But it is the truth. Everything, every track from the first to the 7th is true. Everything is based off real experiences that I've been through. So, and emotions and the ways that I felt when it comes to, my belief in God.
And you're very vocal about your beliefs on the project.
Yeah, very vocal. Okay. Very vocal.
Okay. Crazy, man.
Yeah,
when you hit me with that, I was, and you was just like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, I'm a Christian now.
I was like.
It's to get you prepared, man.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, get you prepared.
Know what I'm saying? I had to cancel the stripper and the bottle service, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I lost my deposit on that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta throw that out there, man. I got to, man.
Nah, I feel you, man. It's good just to let a person know, what to expect. Like I said, me personally, I live in a judge-free zone, so I interact with, the so-called scum all the way up to the so-called hero or role model. You know what I'm saying? So and everybody got they dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hands is dirty.
Yeah.
And and everybody just trying to get by. So
right.
I don't trip off of what nobody else decide they want to do or the life that they want to have. But other people ain't not everybody like that. So
right.
It is what it is, though, man. But yeah, that caught me off. It did catch me off guard, though. It caught me off guard. I was like, oh wow, the Christian rap. Only because I feel like it's so accepted now. Like, I feel like, there's still many who would be scared to say, like, I'm going to make this type of music. I mean, I think a lot of people are conflicted with the music that they make versus the lifestyle, especially coming from like maybe a Bible Belt or in this area, like